What's going on, Laker fans? Welcome to Lakerland. I am Christian, Mr. All the Above, ENT, and the Lakers did it. We finally did it after what seems to be the longest season and the longest, shortest playoff drought that I've ever experienced as a Lakers fan. We are finally back into the playoffs, and we did it. We clinched the 7th seed officially. We defeated the Wolves, and man, what a roller coaster of a regular season this was, to just think that we are actually in the playoffs now. To a certain extent, I'm happy to be here. I really am, because at the start of this season, I was not the most optimistic human being on planet Earth, but trade deadline happened, All-Star break happened, and we needed a certain amount of wins to get the job done. Dennis Schroeder said the number was 19. This was number 19, and we are officially the 7th seed. We'll be facing the Memphis Grizzlies in the first round of the playoffs in just a few days, but we're here. I want to talk about how we got here real quick in that Wolves matchup. That, man, it really was a fight, no pun intended, but the Wolves did have a puncher's chance. I'll stop here. But no, realistically, man, it was a really tough battle, and it was a ugly win. It was a ugly game of basketball for a large portion of this game. But ultimately, what originally was a big lead on the Timberwolves, will really almost the second half of the game to go. I believe we had maybe like 18 total minutes left, and we just flipped another gear defensively, pretty much, and the offense never quite came around, and there's going to be some things we got to talk about. There's concerns with this Lakers team, but, man, a big part of my hopefulness was that we can just make it to the playoffs and we can make it there healthy, and as of right now, yesterday was a game where we had every single member of the roster available to play, including Tristan Thompson. But what a game that was, man. My anxiety level was through the roof. We probably didn't deserve the victory, but you know what? When you play defense that good to close out the game, the fourth quarter, the overtime, maybe you do deserve the victory. Our offense, it was rough. It was rough. LeBron James made a bit of mistakes down the stretch, at least on the offensive end. He might have been winded. He was playing a lot of minutes, but he did have a lot of turnovers, and he did have a few, mishaps. Anthony Davis, I probably would have even seen them go to him more, which I never shy away from more Anthony Davis shots. But this was a game that came down to a guy that, even after the first half, maybe you didn't expect to be an impact player, and that was Dennis Schroeder. And it seems like when Dennis Schroeder snaps his ankle, he comes back, and he comes back as a man on a mission, and that's what he was yesterday. A big spark plug for our bench. He came, honestly, what I was thinking watching Dennis Schroeder play yesterday is, wow, this is what we liked what Russ did coming off of the bench. That energy, that spark he had to kind of keep that foot on the pedal. And we are getting that out of Dennis Schroeder, who is a vet minimum contract, the best deal in the NBA. So shout out to Dennis Schroeder, who had a game-winning 3, but AD's bozo ass, man. He unfortunately fouled Mike Conley. Of course, Mike Conley hits all 3 of his free throws, and it brought us to overtime. And we got it done. We got it done in overtime. Not a pretty win. Probably one of the ugliest wins of the season, but a win that we needed, and a very important win that is officially bringing us into a Grizzlies matchup. And there is concerns. There's positives. There's concerns. I guess I can start it off with the concerns, and that is the fact that this is a new team. Chemistry doesn't seem to be all there. We do see just miscommunication. We see nasty turnovers. Sometimes Dennis Schroeder still can't thread the needle correctly to Anthony Davis when they are in a pick and roll. D'Angelo Russell still doesn't have the most well-developed chemistry with LeBron James. We're still a new team. We got unexperienced players like Rui Hachimura that we might have to depend on. Vanderbilt, sure, I guess he's experienced because he played in a play-in game last year, which I think means he also played in a playoff series. But how much experience are we giving that credibility to? Same thing with, honestly, D'Angelo Russell. Sure, he's been in a few playoff series, but are we confident that he's not going to play like how he played last night for an entire series? Because if that happens, that is a big concern. D'Lo is a major part of our success. He's a volume shooter. He's one of our only volume shooters on the team. I know Bron likes to play like a volume shooter sometimes, but he doesn't knock it down like D'Lo does. Beasley is a volume shooter, but if he's not hitting his shots, he's not going to get any minutes. So that leaves us to the only the three-point shooters that we had pre-trade deadline, which is really Troy Brown, who's going to have, his fair share of limited minutes. Austin Reeves, who is a good three-point shooter. We've seen him be consistent. We've seen him be reliable, but at the end of the day, he's a second-year player. AD's not really hitting the three shot like that. Vanderbilt's not going to do it. Dennis Schroeder will give you the occasional three, but we're gonna need shooting. We're gonna see if Rui Hachimura can hit that wide open three. He's gonna get every time, and for the most part, he has been thus far. We're gonna see if Vanderbilt can figure out that corner three. I don't know if it's gonna happen overnight, so I won't expect it to. But if AD's threes can fall in, that'll be huge for us. But shooting is a big glaring concern, in my opinion, and I already mentioned Austin Reeves. I really love Austin Reeves. I need an Austin Reeves jersey. I do. But I'm not all that comfortable relying on a second-year player to be that guy. I got faith in him, ironically, and I think Austin Reeves will be an X factor if he plays well. But I also don't think he should be a dependent. Like, we can't act like he's our third best player. The man is undrafted and he's in his second season in the league. So I really hope Austin Reeves is not our third best player. And if he is, I hope it's a testament to how good Austin Reeves is, rather than, other people maybe not holding their end of the bargain. At the same time, yeah, like I said, he can definitely be a plus. And we do have other pluses with our roster, and that's the fact that our roster provides a bunch of flexibility and a bunch of different utility players. What Rui brings, what Vanderbilt brings, especially in combination with LeBron James and Anthony Davis. What our combination of guards brings with D'Lo, Schroeder, and Austin Reeves. Even our wild card wings with Troy Brown, who we know can definitely light it up from the three on occasion. We've seen him be a knockdown shooter. Beasley, if he gives you a few hot games, those can be difference maker games. Now, it's going to be hard, and I don't like the fact that Darvin, in what really was a make or break game last night, at least in my opinion, Darvin, maybe played his rotation a little too long, and he might have played too many players in what we should have treated like a game 7. But come the second half, I feel like he did what he needed to do. He cut D'Lo's minutes, who unfortunately had to be done for what it was worth, and you didn't see, the units of Wenyen, I believe, and I don't think Beasley got any second half minutes. It was more only Hachimura, only Dennis. Really the players that were performing that day. And yeah, that is going to be some bright spots of what the playoffs can bring, and it is that roster flexibility and our depth that we recently acquired. So I'm really looking forward to see who is going to show up and who might not show up. But regardless, if we want to win, pretty much everybody's going to have to show up, including our biggest pro, which is the MVPs we have on our team. And I'm not talking about Austin Reeves chanting at the free throw line. I'm talking about the GOAT. That was a horrible sheep impression or a GOAT impression. But we have LeBron James. We have Anthony Davis. So we do have the manpower to get the job done. And I mean, listen, Anthony Davis got to play like the dominant force that he can be. We have to figure out when these double team comes, what are we doing? I'm not a coach myself. I couldn't coach myself out of a box. But these people get paid to figure it out. So we have to figure out how to create offense when Anthony Davis is getting double teamed. And with that being said, we got to figure out how to create offense for Anthony Davis to avoid a double team. I like when he gets the ball and he's right quick into his action and he's getting to a bucket with the first 4 seconds of catching the ball, not giving the defense opportunity to double team him. And he has gotten better of passing out of the double team, but we have to make sure that, if we do that, the shooters are ready, or the players are ready to either shoot or create their own shot. And I don't know. We've been a little shaky with that as of late. And LeBron James, I have full faith he's going to be LeBron James, but at the end of the day, he's, in my opinion, going to be LeBron James, and that comes in, the crunch time, the under 2 minutes. And I know that you can argue LeBron James is clutch. I know you can argue that LeBron James is not clutch. I kind of fall on, LeBron James is going to make the correct basketball decision, and you might not like the decision because you want your superstar to take over in the moment. If he took the shot yesterday and didn't pass to Dennis Schroeder and he missed, you would have probably felt okay because at least he took the shot, but we've seen the missed call with Boston Celtics that's traumatizing. So you have that in your mind. You have the idea of him going to the free throw line, possibly bricking free throws, but at the same time, he dishes it off to Dennis in what was the correct business basketball decision, but it's very likely Dennis could have bricked that shot. And we could have seen a Danny Green moment. We could have seen, Dennis Schroeder versus the Hornets earlier in the year when he had the same exact shot but bricked it. But we didn't get that. And the correct decision ended up resulting into the correct result. And yeah, man, I don't know. I'm gonna really say that Lakers have a chance this year, man. After what we've been through, after the pain and suffering that was the last year and a half, to turn it around and not only have a deep team, but a team that plays very, very tough, and that goes on the defensive end as well. Like, we have a certain switch, and I do not like having a switch necessarily because when you have a switch, you can also turn it off. But we do have a switch that when we turn on, we become scarily good on the defensive end. And it's going to come down to what we can do offensively. And it's, we're going to have to hold up this defensive end that we've been doing because the defense has been leading to shots. And our offense hasn't been the prettiest, but it's been generated off of great defensive possessions on the other end. So it is going to be crazy. We are facing the Grizzlies up next. And the Grizzlies pose their own type of threat. I mean, they don't have Steven Adams, which is a plus for us. They don't have Brandon Clark, which is a plus for us when we have Anthony Davis. Now, how do they scheme Anthony Davis? Jaren Jackson's probably going to be on him, I imagine. I'm hearing a lot of Defensive Player of the Year for Jaren Jackson chatter. So what's going to happen there? I love that Anthony Davis in the second half said, you know what, I got to guard Cat. I'm going to guard Cat. I feel like that probably should have been the idea out the gate, in my opinion, to prevent that from happening point blank. But I hope, Jaren Jackson on the other end is going to get minimized. But if AD gets minimized and Jaren Jackson gets minimized, the bigger disappearance will be Anthony Davis. We're going to need him to do his thing, especially when John Morant is going to be at the point of attack and he's going to be driving downhill and he's going to be looking to put it on everybody. So who's guarding Ja? Is it going to be Vando? Is it going to be Austin? I wouldn't put D'Lo on him, and then everybody else, you probably just is not in position to guard him. Are we just going to switch? I could see us switching a lot. I don't know. It's the way they match up against us is quite interesting. I do feel like we match up okay, and we're going to have to, one, control John Morant, and that means, for our coach to figure something out on how to guard the man. If he's whooping our behind, to throw those doubles at him, to make the correct adjustments after halftime, or this is the playoffs now. We got a rookie coach going into the playoffs. So how are you going to make those not only, halftime adjustments, but next game adjustments? We're going to see history have the ability to repeat itself, and Darvin Ham have the ability to prevent history from repeating itself. So we're going to see. This is going to be a real test for this team. I'm very, very happy to be here, but don't confuse that for any type of content. I am not content until we win a championship. Granted, we just put this team together 2.5 months ago. I'm just pulling that out of my end. I don't know if that's correct. But this is a fresh team, no training camp, no real ability to construct a roster around this core. We do have a chance to get that this offseason, but we have a real shot where this is anybody's game in this playoffs, especially in the Western Conference. I can't really worry too much about the East because we only got to worry about one team at the end of the day in the Eastern Conference. So whoever gets there, gets there. If it's Lakers versus Celtics for battle number 18, I'm game. Bring on the smoke. Warriors or Kings next? I mean, I'll take either or. I think people are going to sleep on the Kings. And sure, they're probably not ready as a team to take down a dynasty like the Warriors. Not to mention they probably can't defend them. But I think people are going to sleep on them, and they might be able to upset somebody. Now, can they upset the Warriors? I don't know. Maybe they can win a few games. Hopefully, they take the series. I would love that, to be honest with you. But regardless, whoever wins that, Lakers, in theory, would get next if we win this. And not to look too far ahead, if we get through them, it's Suns, it's Clippers, it's Nuggets in that Western Conference Finals. I'm ready for all the smoke. In reality, I'm tired of the chatter. I'm tired of people saying that the bubble was a fluke. I'm tired of, the same conversations we've been hearing. I want to shut up everybody, and I just want to win another championship, and I think we can do it. We have competent pieces. Let's hope that the competent pieces play good. Let's hope that we make the correct decisions from the coaching staff. Let's hope that Anthony Davis and LeBron James, I wish you guys nothing but the best health. You guys get a few days off. Please take that. I don't got to tell you guys, but please take that time to, take care of your body and, nurture it as much as you possibly can, because it's about to be the war of nutrition come playoffs, and we have not been eliminated with both LeBron James and Anthony Davis healthy. Yes, it's a small sample size. It's the bubble run. And, I guess the few games we had with the Suns when Anthony Davis was healthy, but we don't lose much when Anthony Davis and LeBron James is healthy in the playoffs. If you remember that 2020 series, it was 5 games, 5 games, 5 games, then 6 games. So are we going to take Memphis to 7? Are we going to beat them in 6? Or are we going to be on the receiving end? I don't know. I don't know when I will be here to discuss it next time. I don't know if it will be in the middle of the series or the end of the series, but regardless, I will be discussing what goes down between the Lakers and the Grizzlies and what is going to be a must-see matchup, man. Ja Morant is fun. I'm not sleeping on him. I do not want to lose to Dillon Brooks. I think Desmond Bane is an absolutely tremendous player. Jaren Jackson is... I wish Anthony Davis was a Defensive Player of the Year nominee. Somehow the man can't get it, and probably because he can't stay healthy. But shout out to Jaren Jackson. He looks like he might be able to get that award. Regardless, he's a nominee, so he's going to have to be somebody we fear. And, Tyus Jones. That's going to be a threat coming off the bench. We have Dennis Schroeder. Sure, he's a microwave point guard who can really lead a bench unit. Tyus Jones is very similar. And there's a levy of other players on the Grizzlies. Xavier Tillman. I'm not by any means not scared of the matchup. There's definitely some opportunities that Grizzlies can take advantage of us on. But I'm willing to bet on the Lakers every time, baby. So that is where I'm currently at, guys. What do you think? What is going to happen when the Lakers meet the Grizzlies in the playoffs? I'll tell you this much. I expect to lose game 1. Usually goes down that way. So please don't overreact, even though I'm going to be, and I promise you that much. I'm going to be overreacting. I'm going to be stressed as hell, but I'll be a Laker fan, and I'll be living and dying with the Los Angeles Lakers, and we will see how it goes. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you think down below. Do you think Lakers actually have a viable shot at the championship, or at this point, you're just happy to be here? We really had a shit end of the stick for the last year and a half. And just getting a good half season of basketball has been very refreshing. Seeing a winning team has been refreshing. Seeing good vibes have been refreshing. Now are the good vibes, championship vibes, We're about to find out. So I will see you next time. And if I don't see you, hey, have a good day, good evening, and good night.
Yeah, I got the game all in my hand, ooh, and yeah, pop out with the drip and make a fan drool. You could risk it if you want, this ain't no fan duel. Yeah, I'm in a Benz cool, yeah, stepping for the